Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Mary Beth. Welcome to another uplifting message for you on your, to help you on your twin flame journey. As I was beginning to post this, what hit my brain, I feel like I'm always channeling, is that I feel like if more people had a different perspective on this twin flame journey, if they didn't see it as, oh, I need to get into twin flame union with my 3D counterpart, and more look at this twin flame journey as more of a, how do I get out of this matrix? If they really shift their perspective on what this is and really realize this twin flame journey is not about getting back with my, because it really disempowers you if you have this longing to get into a relationship that you don't have control of because the other person, if they don't want to be, in that, 3D relationship with you, that really takes your power away. And I almost feel like if you put all the power, if you give all the power to yourself and you feel like, you know, this is more about, for me, shifting out of the 3D. It's not about my 3D counterpart. It's not about my 3D situation. It's about getting out. It's about getting out of my 3D. It's about shifting into the 5D and deprogramming myself and realizing that I'm not supposed to be in a relationship where we are codependent or we're leaning on each other. This is supposed to be about me shifting to a higher level and to a higher purpose and being on my mission. And then when you reach a certain point, vibrationally, everything that you attract is so much better than what it would have been had you attracted in the third dimension or in that vibration. Trust me, I know, because if you looked at my story, one of my videos, I kind of tell my story. When you go into twin flame union in a state of a lower vibration or like in the third dimension, it doesn't, it's just not very joyful. It's not a joyful connection. I would say that probably it's quite painful to be in. And so, and I'm sure everyone has their own opinions. Anyone who has been in twin flame journey, I'm sorry, twin flame union in the physical, in the 3D, has their own opinion of what it's like. And I'm sure there's plenty of channels on that you could watch to see what it's like. Be careful though, because sometimes if you find a couple where it's like seems too super easy, just listen to your gut. If they really are twin flames, really decipher that because you're on the twin flame journey. Okay, so let's find out. Let's see what the divine has picked today. So again, these are uplifting messages to help us on our twin flame journey. So the first card you got is surrender to complete healing. Open fully to the loving, compassionate forces of the universe that support your physical, emotional, and spiritual healing. Yeah, you know, if a lot of people did this, if everybody was about healing themselves and purging and ridding your trapped emotions, because I don't think even people know that. I don't even think that's a thing where people don't even, no one learns that, okay, so we've had maybe traumas or things happen in our life or even lifetimes. And people, and even has to do with our bloodlines, even like people, of our family, our generations, I'm sorry, past generations, we have trapped emotions from all of it. And what that does is it weighs us down and it anchors us more and more into the 3D. So especially during the full moon, if you could purge, if you could do salt baths. I love the emotion code. If you'd like more information on that, definitely email me. But, doing the emotion code has been huge for me. And it really helps to heal the inner child. And it teaches you a lot about stuff that you may have, maybe ignored or, buried in your memory. And then, so when it comes to surface, you can release it for good. And what that does is it lightens you. It helps lift your vibration. It helps you to heal. And, it's just like it really just, I believe it actually heals the collective because we are all one. So let's say I'm doing my, healing and I'm purging all my trapped emotions. Sometimes, especially during the full moon, I feel like I take on a lot of energies because I'm very like sensitive, and I'm like an empath. And so what I'll do is I will release a bunch of trapped emotions, and I don't think they're just mine. To be honest, I think it's a lot of people. I take it on and then I release it, and then it helps heal the planet and helps heal humanity and it helps heal all of us since we are all one. So it says, just please surrender to complete healing. And it actually lifts your spirits. And it shows, it's almost like a very loving and compassionate way to help yourself and your divine masculine side of you. Or if you're divine masculine, your divine feminine side of you. Yep. So this is what they're telling me to tell you. Because I know I say this all the time, but okay, so your left side is your divine feminine, your right side is your divine masculine. And so what if you have a pain on your right side and you identify as the divine feminine, just know this pain is happening in your divine masculine side of you, and they have a trapped emotion. And when I say they, technically, yes, it is your own divine masculine since we're all one, but it's really happening in the 3D as well. And so your 3D counterpart might be going through something and there's some kind of trapped emotion that they have to release, and you can do it for them. And so you could do that through the emotion code. You also learn a lot about your counterpart, but you're helping them to heal, and then you're both healing because, like I said, you feel both sides. And sometimes it's the divine feminine. You might feel maybe something in the neck, and then you have to kind of release it, figure out like what it is that's causing it. And then also, I really recommend this book, You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay. And you could do the affirmations as well because sometimes you have a thought process that also causes pain in the body. And you want to kind of shift that thought process to empower you, and then it doesn't affect your body. Okay, so let's go back to the reading. All right, the next card you got is Marguerite Porite. Probably not saying that right. The mystic of divine love. Love is divine, and I am nothing except love. Yep. So I think a lot. This is my divine feminine cards. A lot of these divine feminines, they are about embodying the love. And what's great about that is that what they realize is that they don't need to be loved outside of themselves because they know love is divine. They know they're already all one. They already know they're one with source. They already know they're surrounded by a stadium of spirits who are like, cheering them on. I don't know if you ever pictured yourself walking around with like a stadium of like spirits, or I don't know, whatever you consider your spiritual entourage family cheering you on wherever you go. I do. That's what I call them. I call them my spiritual entourage. And so I always know I'm loved no matter what. Like I'm getting the chills right now actually. It's like I always know I'm loved no matter what happens, no matter what's going on, no matter like who, and like if someone else is telling me that they love me outside of me, it's not the same as the love I have within me. So if somebody outside of me tells me that they love me so much, that's only going to go so far because it's very third dimensional. It's almost like it's probably even conditional. But when you have this unconditional love for yourself, no matter what, it's a deeper love. And when you tap into that, when you tap into integrating your own, divine feminine, divine masculine energies with that deep set unconditional love for yourself and for others, when you feel it for others, it's just another realm. It's more of a fifth dimensional love, and so that's what she's talking about. All right, the next card we got is Notice Connections. What does this mean? So it says, cultivating insight is all about understanding the connections between things. But before you can understand connections, you have to see them. Whenever you see something interesting happening in your experience, practice looking for related connections. For example, if you're distracted by something while you're working, try recalling what emotion you felt just before the distraction, or when you feel a sensation in your body. Notice what distinguishes the sensation from all the sensations you don't normally notice. This practice of noticing will illuminate the connections between you, your mind, body, and experiences. So I think something like this happened to me last night where trying to remember what set it off. I really need to be more observant and more mindful. But anyway, I was doing my cards and I started feeling like not good about something, like something was like on my mind and it started to irritate me, and I'm like, why am I feeling irritated? Like I had to figure out like the connection of, because all of a sudden I'm just doing my cards, and I'm trying to do a reading here, and something that has nothing to do with the reading, something inside of me triggered, and I figured it out right away, and the minute I figured it out, it dissipated. I'm trying to think what it was. There was something that was on my mind. It made me mad. And then when I realized the connection and I said, oh, that's right, I was mad about this. And then I'm like, why am I mad about that? Like, who cares? Like, that's what I'm mad about. And then and then once when I realized what I was mad about, I was able to disconnect from it, and then I was fine again. It's like there are certain triggers, and so it's almost like you have to notice the connections. You have to notice like what brought my vibration down? Like what just happened? What brought my vibration down? And when you start noticing the connections and you're noticing a pattern, then you can, release it and shift into a new perspective to not allow that to take your power away. All right. And then the next card you got is I witness the darkness and call on the light with my prayer. Thank you, universe, for guiding me to perceive this fear through the eyes of the teacher of love. Yeah. So for those of you who may feel fear about the future, fear of the unknown, I know, I get it. You're sitting here and you thought you knew what your future was, and now you're not so sure. You're like, huh, I thought I was going in that direction, but it seems I'm now going in this direction. What the heck? And so, what the divine is saying is that, you know what, we got this, just live in the now. We're guiding you. We can see from a bird's eye view all of your outcomes. This is why I don't give outcomes, because there's so many of them and there's so many timelines. And any change and shift of perception, or any kind of change you make or any decision you make, switches your timeline. It just takes you, the timeline. All right, they're asking me to tell this story. All right, hold on. They're asking me to tell this story. Anyway, so I knew I was on this particular timeline with my twin flame, and basically it was something where I was supposed to be patient, because part of the divine feminine is being patient. It's not about forcing anything. And so the way you know when you switch timelines is that usually the pictures, it's a picture change, and most time you don't notice, most time it just shifts, but sometimes when you're having a shift in your timeline, because you get something called a deja vu, which I'm sure you've all heard of. So with the deja vu, you're seeing the same picture twice, and what that means is that you switched pictures, and when you switch timelines, it's not a perfect switch, and so so it's almost like a glitch, and you end up experiencing the same picture twice, and then you think of it like, okay, I already did this, or I have memory of already doing this, like, oh, I'm having a deja vu, I already saw this happen. Well, that's what's happening. It's a switch in timelines, and you're just noticing in the 3D because there's a glitch with the switch. And so I remember I was on a particular timeline that I was supposed to be on when it came to being patient and waiting for my twin flame to come to me and, make the first move. But what I did was I forced the situation. I took it upon myself because that's just who I am. I've been that way with a lot of my exes. I go up to people, I'm like, are you attracted to me or not? I just get impatient. So anyway, so with him, I kind of did the same thing, pretty much. And when I did that, what that ended up doing, he had a deja vu first, and he goes, "Oh, I feel like we've done this before." And then I felt like we did it before. Like we both had a deja vu at the same time. And then anyway, he knew at that point that I had feelings for him, and he's like, "Oh, are we dating?" Like that. And I'm like, "Yeah," and he's like, "Oh, okay," was that the, and then because I mean we were like really close all before that, like close for a really long time. And then finally I just got impatient, and I was like, "Oh, well, I'm attracted to you, right?" It was like I just couldn't be patient anymore. And that shifted the whole timeline, because the divine Didn't set it up that way. The divine's like, okay, we're gonna take this slowly, and we're gonna wait for him. And but nope, I became impatient, and I shifted the whole timeline. And so, and I think I shifted. You know, we just got into union a little too quickly. And so when this card says, you know, thank you, universe, for guiding me to perceive this fear through the eyes of the teacher of love, they're saying, you know, to trust in the universe and, you know, don't allow, you know, fear to get the best of you. Know that they have your back. There's, like I said, there's so many timelines. They can see all the timelines. They can see all the outcomes, and they want, just trust that they want the best outcome for you. And they can see if, oh, if we allow them to have it now, well, this will be the outcome. And it's going to be like, But if we take another route and it's a bit longer because there's a lot more healing and a lot more growth, I see this is the outcome for you. And so they're saying release the fear, trust the universe, allow them to take you on the timeline of you being open to receiving and you're being open to all the growth that you're supposed to go through. It's just easier on your own. I didn't really have any growth in union, to be honest with you, because it was very, not that it was a distraction, but you know, I didn't grow. I just didn't. It wasn't until after we separated that all this growth. I mean, almost like I think my divine told me I had 3 years worth of growth in like a matter of a couple of months. They were laughing at me. They were like, "Oh my God, it's like you went to university for like 3 years." Because I wanted to figure out what happened. I was just like, because I'm all about the solution. I'm like, what the heck just happened? So anyway, so they're saying give up the fear and allow the universe to guide you. Okay, let me get back over here. All right, and then the last card you got is work while they sleep, learn while they party, save while they spend, live like they dream. Yeah, so, you know, this card I created a while back because it was like, I think I felt kind of bad being that person where I'm like, you know, I'm kind of giving up, you know, hanging out with my friends. In a way, I wanted to prove that I could do that for myself. I didn't want to be codependent. I found that I was being codependent on my friends, you know, like trying to get over my own loneliness, trying to distract myself. But what that did was it did hinder my growth. And so I found this, and I forget who said it, but it was somebody like an entrepreneur or somebody who was very successful. And they basically said, you know what? You work while they sleep, you learn while they party, and you save while they spend, and you live like they dream. You live, you do your passion, you grow. You don't do what the crowd does. You be you. You do what you have to do with you. Don't distract yourself. And I like to say what this famous YouTuber likes to say. He likes to say, if you are not helping me to grow, then you're just a distraction. And so I started feeling like, you know what? I sometimes do that. I do try to distract myself and I try to pretend that I'm like filling my life up so I don't feel any pain. And then as soon as and yes, it works for that time. Like it really does. Like for those couple of hours, I'm feeling really good. I'm having so much fun. But then when it's time for me to go home, like the pain comes right back. And it's not like I'm drinking. It's not like I'm numbing myself. All I'm doing is trying to get out of this pain and hanging out with my friends. And then I come home and it's just like, and the pain comes back. And I'm like, what is going on here? Like that didn't work at all. So this is just saying, you know what? I think you're better just to purge, to heal, to work on yourself. It'll be a lot quicker. And then outside circumstances, not only will they hurt you, but they're not going to like, you don't have to lean on it either. You don't have to be codependent on it. You go within, and that's where the healing is. That's where the love is. That's where your dream life is. And so that's what this is saying. I don't know. I just really like that. And then I always like to pick a card to ponder on. You can ponder on it or not. It's up to you. And it says, my 3 latest wins are. So I actually have my own poster board here. I'll show you super quick. I have this poster board that I like to have. And of course, I like to say it's not about getting into twin flame journey. For me, it's about deprogramming myself to get out of this matrix. Like that's my whole goal is to get out of this matrix. And it brings me joy. And I wake up in the morning and I'm excited. And so anyway, one of the things and then I have a bunch of things that I ask myself to do. It's kind of like a daily practice. One of the things is I have to write down my 5 wins. And it reminds me of the successes because sometimes I get down on myself and I say, oh, you know, like I'm still, not where I thought I would be, or like sometimes little things will get me down. And it could even be my YouTube channel. It could be anything where I feel like down on myself or I feel like I'm failing or something. And then I have to remind myself how far I've come. And so I have to write down my 5 wins. I have to see like all my successes, how hard I'm trying, the work I'm putting in. And so, it just shifts my whole perspective. So anyway, if you feel guided, you can ponder what your 3 latest wins are, or you could just, write that down. Well, I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, share, subscribe, hit that notification button. And if you're interested in any kind of private reading, or if you just want to email me, if you have any questions, or if you have any ideas for topics, or let me know what videos you like, you could just email me if you like these type of videos, or if there's something else you feel would be more beneficial for people on this twin flame journey. I would love to hear your, comments and suggestions. And otherwise, keep watching. I have so many, I'm going to keep posting so many of these in my other videos. It's all about empowering you guys. So I just want to say love and blessings, love and blessings, love and blessings. And thank you for joining me. And I will see you next time. Thanks. Bye.